Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Pop, and today I'm going to be talking with you about the modern masterpiece. It's called Joker. We all know about it. It's finally here, and for those of you who have not seen this movie yet, what? WTF, bro? Come on. You need to see this film. It's a modern masterpiece. So let's just dive right into it right now. It's holding a 68% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Another WTF. Critics, what the hell are you talking about? Also followed by an 89% score from audiences on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences, thank you so much. You do have a brain. So let's just dive right into the critic consensus for this film. Oh boy. All right. Joker gives its infamous central character a chillingly plausible origin story that serves as a brilliant showcase for its star, that's Joaquin Phoenix, and a dark evolution for comic-inspired cinema. Man, what a freaking awesome just summary of this film. Because I want to follow up on this towards the end of the review, which I do hope you stick around for and do watch. My question that I'm asking myself, and ultimately will answer by giving you my opinion about this film is it a masterpiece? We'll find out. I want to cover some of the pros and cons about this film, leading into my thoughts. And before we do that, let's just talk about the obvious 800-pound gorilla in the room. There's been a lot of chatter and noise online about this film even before it hit theaters because it did premiere at the Venice Film Festival earlier this year to critical acclaim, and then was met by a barrage of online articles concerned about the Joker being a means to incite violence amongst the incels, that's involuntary celibate men, white men of this country, to promote some sort of rallying cry for them to have gun violence in theaters. A bunch of bunk BS. We've heard this thing since the inception of bad films, video games in the early 1990s. It's a really old and tired line, but really from people who really just don't get it. Movies and video games don't incite violence. You have to have a deranged mind to begin with. And it could be something as simple as you giving someone a compliment would set them off because perhaps they would interpret it the wrong way. Because guess what, guys? Their brain is all kinds of crazy. All right, so enough about that, because kind of the running theme or circulating around this movie is about the controversy. And honestly, I separate myself from mainstream media, so this really is not so prevalent to me as much as I'm seeing articles and commentators talking about the quote-unquote prevalence of this concern or controversy about the issue. So let's absolve ourselves of that and get into the pros for this film. All right, cinematography. Guys, this is directed by Todd Phillips. You know him from the Hangover trilogy, old school. He's a comedy film director who's starting to break the mold into some very serious drama, as we can tell with this fantastic film, Joker. Cinematography is absolutely fantastic. I mean, Todd Phillips, really, he had a vision for this. Right down to the title card sequences that are shown during the beginning of this film. You have the classic Warner Brothers Studios film logo and the film's title card, which were actually all shot on animation stands. That's a celluloid print of the text that is overlaid on the film. So you have that nice film grit. It doesn't look super sharp. It looks like something out of a period based in the 1970s or 80s, which obviously this film is set in. So thank you, Todd Phillips, for that fantastic attention to detail. The pacing of this film, all fantastic. Acting, obviously. We've got Joaquin Phoenix. We've got Robert De Niro, two fantastic actors of their times, respectively, helming this project. We've had fantastic supporting actress Zazie Beetz, and everyone else involved in this film. Every single actor, every single set piece, everything you see in this movie is completely believable. And it just transcends, really does transcend what we are typically used to seeing in comic book films. This really does break the mold for the genre and is amongst a category unto itself. Now, the acting, God, wow, there's really just not so much anything more I can say about that. Joaquin Phoenix is genuinely a fantastic actor, and really, he's the new Joker. Heath Ledger is fantastic. I love his performance, but in comparison, especially when you pair them up with the runtimes of their time on screen, respectively, Joaquin Phoenix carries this whole movie. There's basically not a single frame of this film that doesn't involve Joaquin Phoenix. And by contrast, Heath Ledger probably has a total of maybe 10 minutes speaking time in The Dark Knight. Not much time to really flesh out the character. Not saying Heath Ledger is not capable of it. Obviously he is. But he didn't have the opportunity to really dive into a character study as Joaquin Phoenix did in this film. The score for this film, it's by Hildur Gondortir. Good God Almighty, please forgive me. I don't speak Icelandic. I can't pronounce that last name, but you do know the score. The composer of this film. He did the score for Chernobyl, which was a fantastic miniseries on HBO. It's brooding. It's dark. It really just invokes a sense of dread, drama, tension. Anything you could expect and ask for, provided the tone of this film. So a couple other things here. Joaquin Phoenix really sells us on the whole concept about the reason why the Joker laughs. I thought it was very inventive, very fresh take on it. It's an involuntary reflex for one of the several mental diseases that Joaquin Phoenix has. And then lastly, the last two things I want to cover, which were pros for the film, were I love how they tied Crime Alley into this, because you do have to wonder with the previous versions of the Batman stories on film, and of course from the original source material, you have to wonder why an affluent family like the Waynes were ever walking down Crime Alley. Surely they have a driver or butler who could lead them to a car and drive them home. Why would they ever be put in this situation? But of course, as this film displays, it's the incitement of the riots that are just consuming Gotham City that leads them to and forces them to go through this crime alley and ultimately meet their end. I thought that was fantastic and very, very, very smart. Yeah. Before that, of course, I failed to mention the end monologue for the Joker when Joaquin Arthur Fleck comes into full form. That ending monologue, chilling. I mean, the tension is just being cranked up all the way past 11 until its final end result, where we see Franklin Murray meet his end. Man. So, this is a Scorsese film, a Scorsese-inspired film. Taxi Driver, The King of Comedy were largely huge influences for this film. And there's a lot of conversation around whether or not taking such a large influence from these films is cheating. And no, absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. Let me give you a prime example. Martin Scorsese is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. And his films have existed in the public mind for decades. They've been available to other filmmakers before this film. Yet no one has been able to take portions or influence from his film to form a Joker narrative as cohesive and brilliant as Todd Phillips has done in this film. So to just simply say that, oh, it's cheating to take influence from Martin Scorsese, really, I discount that just flat out. I don't agree. And that's one reason why, one very large and important reason why. So to summarize, this film is about mental health issues, class warfare, and what happens when the institutional levers of society fail a broken man in every possible respect, at every axiom you could possibly imagine, and what the end result of that could possibly be. That's it. And it's a chilling prospect to think about and to engage the audience about, and to really just bring pause to us as a people, as a society, into thinking that we need to have more empathy for those who are economically at the bottom or dealing and struggling with mental health issues. It brings into account these things, and that's all this film is talking about. And I commend them for bringing this to the large screen format, into this comic book narrative, and really just invigorating the character with a brand new perspective that I honestly want to see more. I want a full trilogy of this. I want Todd Phillips to tackle the Batman universe. I think he is more than competent to do this. So what's my score? Is this a masterpiece? You noticed I gave you plenty of pros, no cons. And I've tried to scour my mind. Is there anything about this film I don't like? And genuinely, honestly, no, there isn't. So with that, I'm going to have to credit this as a masterpiece. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 bags of popcorn. This film is just, I'm speechless. It's fantastic viewing. So with that being said, guys, if you want to see more awesome movie reviews, trailer reactions, make sure to tune in to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. You can find all those links right down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you again for watching.